All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So I have to cover this story because I just think it's absolutely crazy and insane, even though I am a little late to it, but we're going to cover it anyway. So Candace Owens came out a few days ago and is alleging that the French government is trying to take her out. That is literally what she's announcing. And that tweet went mega viral. Everybody's talking about it. And at first I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like, I don't really know what to make of that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they are or if they aren't. But I noticed something. She spoke about the White House, and she basically said that the White House and other counterterrorism agencies in the United States are in receipt of what she's saying. And one thing that I found interesting is, number one, the Trump administration, or the United States government for that matter, have not come out and said anything about it. And I personally feel like if it were a complete fabrication, a complete BS, I feel like maybe they would have come out and said something about it. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong, but that's just my hunch. And then the other thing, number two, is she posted this tweet right here, which was very alarming. She said, "Our show will be off air this week. As an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize my assassination per a source close to the first couple. Also, I will again state that the French legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, but they did not act alone. For all of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I am telling the truth. So far, they have not come out and said that she's not telling the truth or denied it. Doesn't mean they won't in the future, but so far they haven't. Now, let me give you guys a really good breakdown of the situation. There's this guy named Philip DeFranco. He does a great job breaking down the news. I'm going to let him explain to you guys everything that's happening, and then I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on it. So let's just go ahead and get right into it.
Candace Owens is now claiming that the French president is going to kill her, and that has sparked concern, disbelief, and we're seeing this in the infighting on the right, with many on the right saying that she's using Charlie Kirk's death to become the ultimate grifter. Right, and this latest chapter kicked off on Saturday with this post from Candace where she said that 2 days prior, she had spoken to a high-ranking official in the French government close to the president Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte. And she said that this official told her that the Macrons have, quote, executed upon and paid for my assassination, saying specifically that the green light was given to a small team, which she says includes at least one Israeli assassin. And Candace did not stop there. She also said that the official told her, quote, Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. And she then closed out her initial statement saying that she isn't sure who to trust in the US government because this official claims that leaders here knew of this plan to kill her. But then also with that, she promised to share, quote, definitively verifiable information to any US official that reaches out to her. In the middle of this, she says that she looked into her source and that they have, quote, provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. And so there is a lot to unpack just in that first tweet, but that's also not where her story ends. Because Candace, she then continued tweeting about this entire thing in the days since that first post. And so her next bombshell was that she said that the payments in question were made through the Club des Cent, which is a famous gastronomic society that was founded in 1912. Essentially, think a fancy dining club with 100 members who get together once a week for meals at the top restaurants in Paris. Or at least I imagine it's that. There's also a cycling club that also shares the same name for people who conquered the 100 mountain passes. But anyway, right, Candace again highlighted the supposed Israel connection, saying that both a French female assassin as well as a male Israeli one were chosen to kill her. And she called this alleged plan for her murder, quote, joint state operations. And then from there, she goes on to talk more about the Charlie Kirk part of this whole thing. We're sharing.
So now she's basically saying that both France, the country of France, and Israel are conspiring to take her out. I do want to point something out very important. For those who don't know, and you can actually look this up, this apparently did happen. When Candace Owens was going after the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, who is Emmanuel Macron's wife, and calling her a man and all this other stuff. When Emmanuel Macron came to the United States for, like, you know, Trump brings like world leaders to the White House. Every president does this, but, you know, they do their little diplomatic thing. When they did that, it actually was reported that Emmanuel Macron actually came here and spoke to, he didn't come here just for this, but while he was here, he was like, oh, by the way, Mr. President, there's this really annoying person in your country that I don't like, who's a very popular podcaster named Candace Owens. Yeah, can you like get her to shut up? Like she keeps talking about my wife. She's getting all these views and I don't like it and blah, blah, blah. And then apparently Trump actually said, okay, I'll do what I can, basically to Emmanuel Macron. And then after that, he actually proceeded to call Candace Owens personally and say, hey, I know who you are. You know, we know each other. You're on the right. You've been a supporter of mine. That's great. Hey, by the way, could you please stop talking about this guy's wife? He told me to talk to you about this, and I would like for you to stop. Obviously, Candace Owens didn't stop. She's now being sued. But my point in bringing this up is obviously there are some of her conspiracies and things around the Charlie Kirk assassination that I do not personally believe are accurate and I don't agree with. Obviously, time will tell, but that's just my opinion there. But this one right here, I could actually kind of see it. I'm not saying that it's true or that this is accurate. I don't know. And there are definitely a bunch of people on the right who are absolutely trashing her for this and saying this is another one of her crazy tinfoil hat conspiracies that she made up. But I'm just saying this same leader literally came to the United States and told the president, can you tell her to like leave me and my wife alone? Like those guys hate her. Like they're doing everything that they can to stop her. So I'm just saying, is the assassination plot or whatever really out of the question? The answer is I don't know. But what I will say is, well, first off, let's continue with the video before I say what I'll say, and then we'll go from there. Let's go.
A Google search result showing that members of the French military were training in the Marines in California for 3 weeks back in August, saying French foreign legionnaires were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. They were not the only ones, but they were involved. And then yesterday, she posted that she contacted the U.S. federal government about this alleged plot against her and added that she is, quote, willing to provide full details as well as the name of the assassins and international accounts in France and Canada through which money was exchanged. Right? And she even put a number to that, saying this morning that Macron allegedly moved more than $1 million for her assassination. Now, with all this, let's say this is the first time you've ever heard of this situation, right? You're coming in on chapter 87. You might be wondering if this is even true. Why the hell would Macron be trying to assassinate this random right-wing political commentator, and why would this involve Israel? And well, Candace Owens, she has spent the last several months posting what she has called investigation after investigation that Brigitte Macron is secretly transgender. Plus, Candace has been very vocal in her criticism of Israel, though many have accused her of just using that as kind of a cover or a blanket for anti-Semitism. You know, this alleged assassination plot, it sparked a bunch of reactions online, everything from genuine concern for Candace's safety to accusations that she is using Charlie Kirk's name for clout and money. Or you've got people taking Candace entirely at her word, calling this the biggest story in the world right now and expressing serious concern for her safety. You even had people like comedian and commentator Dave Smith saying they should know that taking out Candace Owens will turn all of us into Candace Owens. But then also you had another part of the internet saying this is an obvious sign that Candace Owens needs help mentally, right? Arguing that something's clearly off to have her fully believing and widely sharing what seems to be a far-fetched idea. Or people saying things like the most popular media production in the country is a woman talking herself into psychosis to thunderous applause, as well as nobody in this woman's life loves her enough to tell her to stop. I honestly feel kind of bad for her. But then also you had many others immediately dismissing this as an obvious grift, and that was coming from across the political spectrum. You know, you had some big names, including Representative Dan Crenshaw from Texas, going after Candace and Dave Smith by saying, we all know Candace has lost it, but don't forget about her co-conspirators. They're all in on the grift, begging for your engagement on social media. Right? And that is, you also had arguably Trump's most loyal foot soldier, Laura Loomer, calling Candace out, asking her to share the evidence that she claims to have. And then among this, you had some saying that she's doing this specifically to further capitalize on a pension and cash that come from her connection with Charlie Kirk. There were people saying things like, countries Candace Owens is accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Israel, Egypt, US, France. I wonder who's next. Also saying it's beyond
That is true. She did accuse a bunch of. She said that was a crazy. That Egyptian planes thing was crazy. I remember that. She basically had this like conspiracy that like a bunch of Egyptian planes were following Eric Kirk and Charlie Kirk, and basically Egypt, Israel, and France or whatever are all a part of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which I thought was insane. Again, the way she's been going lately, I've made very clear I haven't agreed with. I mean, again, I always say, because I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all, but just haven't fully agreed. I think that the counter arguments to what she's saying that Philip DeFranco posted here are actually important and good because it's good to hear other perspectives. And I do think that, we haven't seen any evidence. I think that's true. Again, that doesn't mean that she's lying about the French government wanted to assassinate her. What I would be interested in seeing is what the Trump administration has to say, because I don't know if you caught this, guys, but what Philip DeFranco said in this video and what Candace Owens basically alleged is that the U.S. government knew that the country of France was planning to assassinate Candace Owens, and they didn't do anything about it. That apparently is what she said, which will be absolutely insane, but let's keep going.
tacky that Candace Owens is now attempting to connect the very real and tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk to her crackpot Brigitte Macron series. As you can see from where she left off, it was pure gibberish, exactly where Candace is quickly returning, which will leave plenty embarrassed they ever took her seriously. And Candace Owens deciding who next to blame for the Charlie Kirk assassination, and it's her throwing darts at a pre-1990 map of the world, including the Soviet Union. For now, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, both specifically with Candace Owens and this whole situation, as well as how it connects to the general commentary online about politics and the MAGA infighting that we've seen.
It's also going to be interesting, and that's true. There's a crazy amount of MAGA infighting. You guys know I've been covering it. There's so much going on. It's hard to even cover all of it. But the other crazy thing that I'm going to want to see is what happens with her lawsuit. If she wins or loses that, the Macrons are currently suing her. I'm going to be interested in that. Also, if you're alleging that they're trying to murder you, is that going to come up in the lawsuit? Because she's literally in litigation right now. Is your lawyer going to bring that up? Are we going to see legal paperwork in the lawsuit, in the little fighting that they're having in the litigation where basically her lawyers are saying, hey, this guy is literally hiring assassins to kill her. Like, what is going on here? I'd be interested to see if the Trump administration or the U.S. government comes out and says anything. So far, I haven't heard nothing, so I don't know. But it is very alarming that she's stopping her show. That's very alarming. So I will say this, to be fair, for all the people who are saying she's just grifting off of this and it's a big grift and all that, well, the fact that she's not doing her show, I feel like that kind of disputes that, because if you were really grifting, she would go live and be like, hey, the Macrons are trying to kill me. And then she would get like the millions of views she always gets. So I don't know. Seems pretty crazy that she's no longer doing her show. I guess we'll just have to wait for more updates. But anyway, just wanted to get my thoughts on that real quick because I thought that situation is really crazy. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And by the way, I want to say this. I'm probably going to make a community post tomorrow, but just in case I don't, I do want to say I'm really thankful for each and every one of you who watch this channel on a regular basis, and even those who watch this channel sometimes and don't watch this channel and whatever. The people who subscribe, like the videos, comment, watch the channel. I am really, really thankful for you guys. I really mean that. That's one of the biggest things that I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving, because I work really hard on my YouTube channel. I love my YouTube channel. I think it's amazing that I can turn on the camera, run my mouth, and there are some people out there who like it. That's really cool. So yeah, really thankful for all you guys who support and watch the channel. And yeah, thanks so much. That's today's video. See you guys in the next one.